Hey guys, Lisa Callaghy here to share with you a video on a report in Mathseeds called Skills Mastered. Okay, so I'm just going to explain to you this report quickly. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I just want you to be aware that it's available to you and how it could be useful for you. It kind of matches the knowledge map that that you get to see from ExactPath when the students are on their learning path. They have a similar report here. So let's get started. So here I am on a teacher's homepage, and if I come over to the left-hand side menu bar, under reports, opening up that drop-down menu, you have the Skills Mastered report. Okay, so here's what it looks like. First, you have the ability to change the date range. So if you're looking to see the skills mastered within a specific date range, you can easily click on the calendar and choose the start and end date. Just so that you know, it defaults to the school year, so it's going to include all of the data from the beginning of the school up to the last time the students have utilized Mathseeds. You can also export this as a CSV, which is a spreadsheet, and you can look at an individual student. If you just click here, type the student's name, and you'll be able to see the individual skills mastered for that student. Now, coming down, you'll see the results are per student. So we have first name, last name, and then the highest level completed within Mathseeds. And then you see these tabs here. And above the tabs, you see the color-coded, I guess, key that's going to show you what skills weren't passed by a student, skills that they took a second and third attempt to pass, or that they passed on their first attempt. And that means taking the lesson quiz. Okay, and then if a student tested above, that means that in their placement test, they tested above that skill, so they did well on the placement test in that skill, so they didn't have to practice that within the map. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're seeing. So right now we're looking at kindergarten, and kindergarten lessons are from 1 to 50, and you could see within this class that some students had actually landed on lesson 1. So that's the lowest lesson. This is a second grade class. So just so that you know, as a teacher, you can take a look and see, your students, and you can take a look and see if this actually reflects the student's abilities that you've seen within the class. If it doesn't, whereas you know that the student can actually do better, you can always reset the placement test. But I would tell you that you should do that upon close to the placement test finishing, because you don't want the students, you want to have good data for their growth. Okay, so now you see all of the standards above, and then how your students did in terms of the topic, sorry, not the standards, the topic or the skill, and then how they did. So this student here, Edwin, had a problem with circle. So what we could do, none of these are clickable, but the student's name is clickable. So what you could do is click on the student, and now you get the results specifically for this student in a table form. So this is going to give the overall students' results within Mathseeds for the date that we chose here. Okay, so remember, you can always narrow that down. So from the progress Mathseed lessons, the initial lesson was 1, and his highest lesson was 114, and he completed 56 lessons and 45 he mastered. So you could see the placement test, right? So it looks like he took the placement test on January 3rd, and he scored in lesson 31. Lesson 31, is kindergarten because it's 1 through 50 is kindergarten level. And it looks like in September, his placement test was lesson 1 again. So it looks like, well, lesson 1. So it looks like he did make some progress between September and January placement test. So he did improve. So now you're going to see his recent activities, the lesson that he worked on, and the score that he got on any of the quizzes. Now it's going to show you the areas of weakness. This is really important, showing you the date that the student failed some lessons. So this is probably going to show you where, 70 is passing, but it might have taken a couple of tries for the student to get this score. So the program is determining that these are the students' areas of weakness. In their driving tests, which always test students' number sense, data, and geometry standards. You could see his scores there. This, I think this is the first and second, after the first placement test and the second placement test. I'm not really sure. Then we have the recent activity again here. Recent activity again under mental math and facts sprint. So this is the recent activity for driving test. This is the recent activity for mental math fact fluency sprints. Okay, when he worked on that, and then any assignments that the student had was assigned by the teacher. You could see that the dates and the lessons, and then his certificates, and finally you could see the map quizzes and his average score map quizzes and how many attempts he's made on map quizzes in total, and then his recent activity on map quizzes and his score. Okay, so you really get a very specific view of how the student has done within Mathseeds, and this is for the entire school year. Again, you wanted to narrow that down between January after you took the second placement test. You can do that, or within a week, however you want. Okay, so then I'm going to come back to the skills mastered just to keep going. So scrolling down, you'll see your students, and then you can see the rest of your students on page 2. And then if there are 50 lessons here, so there should be, I'm going to scroll here. Yeah, there's 50 skills that relate to the 50 lessons within the Mathseeds map, which is the kindergarten map. Okay, so you're able to look at that. Now you can go up to grade 1 and take a look at how your students are doing in grade 1 skills. Looks like this student here might be having some issues with money, and then you could click on the student's name to get more information about that. And this is, let me go back. So these are the students that are currently working on grade 1 skills, and then you can look and see the students that are currently working in grade 2 skills, but I didn't look at the second page. Oh, yes, I did. Second page for grade 1. Let's go back to the first page. And then these are the students that are working on the skills in grade 2. So this is going to give you another way of seeing who is having difficulty in which skill or what skill, and if there's even like multiple students having. So this could be a way for you to pull students into a little group and work with them on these skills. Okay, so this is a pretty good report to help you identify students, their skills at mastery and skills that they need support in. Okay, so this has been a video on the report Skills Mastered to help you support students in math for the skills that they are having difficulty in. All right, guys, I hope this helped. Have a great day.